यथाग्नेर्दाहिका शक्तिः रामकृष्णे स्थिता हिया सर्वविद्यास्वरूपां तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्. My humble salutations to Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi, who is residing in Sri Ramakrishna inseparably, just like the fire and its burning power. She is the embodiment of all knowledge and the bestower of wisdom. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, we were discussing Prakrutim Paramam Stotram, the hymn on Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi, written by Swami Abhedanandaji. In the last class, in the last lecture, we had started the 5th verse. Lajja pata vrute nityam. She is with full modesty. Sharade, O Mother Sharada, Gnanadayike. You are the bestower of all types of knowledge. And you are the bestower of wisdom. So, particularly, we tried to discuss in the previous class, what is Gnanadayike? She is the bestower of knowledge means what? We have got knowledge two types. One is sacred, the other is secular. Or one is the knowledge with respect to empirical world and the knowledge with respect to self. And when we were discussing about knowledge with respect to self, what is one of the greatest obstacle? The Maya or the ignorance. And when we get her grace, this ignorance will be removed. The ignorance is destroyed. The moment when the ignorance is destroyed, then I will be able to experience that supreme bliss. And from the point of Tantra Shastras, we did try to discuss when her grace happens, this Brahma Granthi, Vishnu Granthi and Rudra Granthi, 3 types of psychological knots which can be cleared and where we will have experienced the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And the next line is also very beautiful line. Papebhyo nassada raksha. Please protect us from the evil doings, evil actions, always. Not one time, not for one day, not for 1 week or for 1 month, eternally. Krupamayi namostute. You are the embodiment of grace. My salutations to you. And if you closely, minutely observe in the 4th verse and 5th verse, in both the verses, Swami Abhedanji is asking or is addressing her as the embodiment of grace. The grace is very, very important for all of us. We may struggle a lot to have a self-realization or God realization or the progress in spiritual life. Whoever the serious spiritual aspirant, he will understand that, how difficult it is, how slippery the spiritual path is, how every moment, every minute, we have to be careful, and how much renunciation has to be practiced. Renunciation of ego, renunciation of desires, giving up worldly enjoyments and pleasures, or giving desires, giving craving, so many things. But still, in spite of all that, sometimes a spiritual aspirant feels that he or she has not progressed in the spiritual life. He or she has not progressed towards the God or towards the self, or attaining the illumination, spiritual illumination. So here, the role of grace comes. Krupa, the role of grace. If the grace of Sri Ramakrishna, or if the grace of Holy Mother, or if the grace of divine happens on us, then nothing can shake us, nothing can disturb us, nothing can pull us down, and no power can bring us down. And if you remember, a simple example is given by Sri Ramakrishna. When we are walking on the footpath, which is very narrow, but still I am holding, as a child, I'm holding my father's hand and I'm walking. At any point, there are always chance of my slipping from this narrow footpath and falling. Though I am holding my father's hand, but there is a chance of falling, because when I slip, I miss and I will not be conscious. As immediately, mechanically, I will try to save me and I may lose my hand, lose my hand's grip pertaining to my father's hand, hold, and I may fall at any time. That's what happens many times. It is everyone's experience. But if father is holding me, because of his knowledge, because of his experience, and because of his exposure, generally, there is a less chance of falling. And even if he is falling, it is not that easy that he leaves us. He holds us actually. So he gives this example, Sri Ramakrishna. If we are holding God, there is any time of chancing. There is a chance of any time falling. But if God holds us, then the chance of fall is very, very less, or almost we can say it is impossible. So this is what we can consider as Krupa. Krupamai. Oh Mother, you are the embodiment of grace. You are the embodiment of compassion. You are the embodiment of infinite grace. So please have mercy on me. Please be gracious on me. I will bow down to you. I shall prostrate to you. Why? Because once your grace falls on me, then nothing can disturb me. For example, whoever studied Indian literature, Sanskrit literature, you'll be knowing. There's a beautiful story of Kalidasa. He is the greatest poet ever. He was actually, if you see his life, he was actually born as an ignorant person in a poor house and in a village, and he was illiterate, and just he was number one fool, and probably he was like a shepherd. He used to go here and there and used to cut wood, sell it, and used to take care of the goats or sheep. One of the minister, because he had some jealous and some ill feeling towards the king and his daughter, he came in search of one of the biggest fool or one of the best fool. So while that minister was searching for the best fool, he found this Kalidasa. He know that, of course, his earlier name is different. So he came to know that he's one of the best fool available. Then he said, look, I will take you and I will marry you to the young lady. She's the daughter of a king. You will get a lot of food, lot of sweets, lot of money. So will you marry? And he was so innocent and he only thought he gets a good food to eat and a good place to stay. He accepted. And he was well dressed in the nice costumes. And he said that whatever I say, you have to reply. So just a few sentences was trained by minister with this Kalidasa, and he went. And this lady, the king's daughter, princess, she was very well versed in Sanskrit, well versed in so many things. So she was good at music, she was good at literature, she was good at poet, grammar, prosodies, all things. So she wanted a best educated person, a best person in all the, different parts of knowledge or different fields, knowledge fields. That was her only demand. Then she gave some poems, and this fellow, he murmured something, and the minister gave the meanings, and she was very astonished to hear such a beautiful meanings. So like that, whatever she gave questions, and he murmured, I made some signals or whatever, and minister managed so that he was one of the great, he created an impression that Kalidasa is one of the best intelligent possible. She was also very happy and she agreed for marriage, and marriage happened. And after the marriage, the first day when both of them, they met in private in the room, When she started talking, he started talking in such a way that in a village language, in a slang language, he started speaking the Kalidasa. This princess was taken aback. What is this? You being such a Pandit, a wise person, how can you use such a language? And she asked something and he was unable to answer. And she asked second question, third question, fourth question. He gets frightened and says, look, I don't know anything that. I'm a shepherd boy. I'm illiterate. Your minister told me to act. I only acted. And I'm illiterate and I do not anything. Out of innocence, he told the truth. She took aback. It was a great shock for her. And she said, until otherwise you become a literate and you become a well-learned person, knowledgeable person, then I will not accept you. She kicked him out from her room, and she said, if you want, go and learn. Then he pleaded her, but she said, no, if you want, you go plead. Instead of pleading with me, you go and plead in front of mother. Then he didn't have any other go. He thought. Then near his palace, there was a Mother Kali's temple. He went and he pleaded her with so much innocence and with a purity. He pleaded, and Mother Kali appeared. And what he wanted, when she asked, he said, I want to be a knowledgeable person because otherwise my wife doesn't accept. Then Mother Kali asked him to open his tongue, and she wrote the Bija Mantra syllable, sacred syllable. And from then onwards, because of the infinite grace of Mother Kali, he became one of the best poet, best knowledgeable person. And he has written wonderful poems, wonderful, novels or even dramas and all these things. Even today, very few people can go to that stature. So that's why he's known as Kali Dasa. Dasa means servant. He's a servant of Mother Kali. Means because he received the divine grace from Mother Kali, that's why he became one of the best renowned poet. And afterwards she understood and she started living with him and all these things. So this is the grace. No, probably he didn't do any tapas, he didn't do any austerity, he didn't do any spiritual penance, but still just by prayer, he got it. That's why Holy Mother says that the divine grace is beyond logic, beyond law of causation. That's what we can see. If with sincerity, with purity, if we can pray to Mother, Holy Mother or Divine Mother or Divine, we can be the recipient of grace. Once we get that grace, we are well protected and no power in the world can shake us, even if it is all temporary or momentary. This is what one. So we can get a lot of benefits, either materialistic benefits or the spiritual benefits. The other is, Papebhyo Nassada Raksha. Oh Mother, be gracious on me. How? By protecting me from doing mistakes, by protecting me from doing evil, by protecting me from doing wrong actions, wrong thinking, wrong thoughts, wrong feelings, wrong emotions, which is unethical, immoral, all these things. So for an example, demons, it comes in the, mythology, in the, Egypt mythology and Indian mythology, full of such a beautiful stories. Demons, they had a strong willpower. They sat for penance for hundreds of years and they got so many, boons from God or goddesses. And they were well talented. They had a lot of physical power. And they had even they were kings, or they were the ministers, or they were the children of kings and queens. But still, all of them, all of their power, all of their energy was used in a wrong direction. As a result, they were killed. Because of them, their children, their relatives, their clan or the society were also killed. Because of Papa. Papa means, it is generally translated as sin. Sin means, again, because from the Christian theology, it has got a different connotation, denotation. That's why I am avoiding that word. Instead of that, I'm using evil or wrongdoing or unethical, immoral actions. And also these evil actions can be can be differentiated can be discussed from two angles. Knowingly, unknowingly, till now, either in this life or in my previous lives, I might have done, and I have done so many mistakes, so many wrong actions, so many evil actions, so many evil thoughts, so many ill feelings. That's the one thing. So please be gracious and please burn all of them. Please remove all of them. Please destroy all of them. So Krupa Mayi, that can be linked with this Papebhyo from this angle. Second thing is, protect me, give me right wisdom, give me enough willpower, so let me not do any wrong actions henceforth. O Mother, please be gracious on me. Please have your mercy on me. Please protect me so that now onwards, let me not do any wrong action. Let me not do any bad action, immoral action, unethical action. Let me not hurt anyone. Let me not kill anyone. Let me not hurt anyone physically, mentally, intellectually, morally, emotionally, and also even spiritually. So, Papebhyo nas sada naha. Naha means me, us. Sadaraksha. Please protect me always, eternally. Not one day, not one moment, not 1 year, not 10 years or decade. No, it is always from my birth to death. And not only this life, even in future lives also. Sada Raksha, please protect me. From what? Papebhyo, from sin, from evil actions, from wrong actions, from wrongdoing. See, this is what very, very important. How much ever we know what we should do, what we should not do, but still in spite of knowing that, because of lack of willpower, because of desires, because of cravings, whatever the reason may be, we keep on doing mistakes. So that's the reason we have to become humble, and with that humbleness, we should seek the divine help. If we are protected, well guarded, well gowned by divine, then there is no chance of falling. That we can see in the life of many great people, in the saints. They were always well guarded by the divine power. That's why even if they wish, they were unable to do mistakes. Even if they wish, they were unable to do any wrongdoings. Why? Because they were well guarded by divine. They were well guarded by divine power. Now, Lajja Patavrute Nityam. You are the embodiment of the modesty. This is very unique concept, at least especially to the West. And of course, even today in the present day society, even in India also, it has become very unique concept, which is not normal, which has become unnatural probably. So probably I have to give some example and some background, then only you'll be able to understand what does it mean, the Holy Mother as the embodiment of modesty. Generally, when we say that, oh, Holy Mother was known for her modesty, Holy Mother was the embodiment of her modesty, means what? She was shyful in nature. She was bashful in nature. She was not talking with any men. She used to, whenever she used to come outside, she used to cover herself with a sari, with a veil of a cloth, or with her sari, with a cloth which she was wearing. So any other men never saw her, and she never saw any man easily. Means she was always covering herself. This is what the literal meaning, this is what the general meaning, opinion we have got when we have read the life of Holy Mother Sharda Devi. Actually, this is not the real meaning of this Lajja. Lajja means it is not shyful nature. It is not bashful nature. Rather means it is decency in one's conduct, decency in one's behavior, decency in one's speech. And not only that, and one more meaning is, the beautiful meaning is, a person is modest means what? One who puts the needs of others ahead of his or her own needs. Someone wants some help from me. Now I am busy. I have to do something because for myself, and someone is requesting, then generally what we do, oh dear, please give me some time. I have got some work. I have got something to do for myself first. Let me finish it. Then I will come and see whether I can help you or how much I can help you. This is what generally we all do it. But a modest person, instead of thinking himself or herself, he or she will always think of others. He or she will go out of the way to help others. So others' needs will be prime important than his or her needs. That is the nature of the modest person. And I think one more beautiful meaning is modest means kind in nature, loving in nature, humble in nature. They are known, they're well known, they're well recognized for their giving nature, helping nature. And they're very gentle, they're very patient, and they're very pure in nature. So these are the few divine qualities which represents lajja, that is modesty. And among them, one equality, which is that generally they don't show themselves in front of other men. Now, to understand this, why it is, you have to understand little cultural background and philosophical background. Then only you'll be able to understand the true import of it, the significance of it. Now, I would like to take you to Ramayana. Swami Purnanandji is doing Ramayana classes every Saturday. Most of you or many of you might be hearing. I don't know, and more than 1 year he's doing, so half of the Ramayana he might have finished. I think recently when I heard, I think he was in Kishkinda Kanda. Anyhow, now Sita was in the Ravana's camp. She was kidnapped. We all know that Ravana kidnapped Sita and he kept her in Ashokavana. Ashokavana is like a small mini forest or a park or a forest which consists of a lot of flowers, best fruits, all these things. So in that Ashokavana, Sita was made to live. So under a big tree, she used to live. There was, of course, maybe pedestal. I mean, there was a good pedestal or whatever where she used to sleep. And she was well guarded by enough demons, day in and day out. And among them, Vibhishana's daughter, her name was Trijata. She was in charge of that group. She was very considerate about Sita Devi, and she used to always take care of her. She used to protect from any other people, and she used to give a lot of moral support. Sita was very grateful to this Trijata. One day, Trijata, while sleeping, she gets a vision, divine vision, where that the whole vision, just I'm giving you a gist. In that vision, what happens? She understands, she experienced that this Sita Devi, Mother Sita, is none other than Divine Mother. The universal mother, the primordial mother, or the Divine Mother has descended in the form of Mother Sita. So next day, she called her team. And she said, look, yesterday I had a divine vision, divine experience, dream. In the dream, I came to know very clearly that universal mother, Shakti, Adhya Shakti, has come in the form of the Sita Devi. So be careful. So you should not displease her. You should not behave in any bad way with her. With all due respect, you should behave with her. Otherwise, you may be cursed, or you may, by not behaving properly or with a indecency or whatever, you may incur sin. So be careful. So all of them, they came into senses. They were very careful about it, and they went and they pardoned, because they would have many times they had very indecently they had behaved. They would have spoken with her, with the Mother Sita, with the harsh words. All these things were done. Now they all begged for pardon, begged for mercy, all these things. And after all praying, Sita said, don't worry, you are all, I have nothing in my mind, so please don't worry, be happy. And Mother Sita gave a big assurance. After that, someone asked, Are you really Divine Mother? Whatever Trijata is saying, is it right? Mother Sita, she smiles and she says, yes, whatever Trijata had the experience, it is true. But while telling that it is true, she becomes bashful and she feels shyful in nature. See, that means she is not boasting about herself. But generally, what happens with all of us, when we are trying to tell about our achievements, we feel so much energetic. We feel so much joyful. And we also add some more masala, some more things extra. And we tell, I did this, I did this, I can do this, blah, blah, blah. All these things, we keep on saying that. That is a general nature. But when Mother Sita, when she was confirming that, yes, she is the Divine Mother, she was very soft and she was feeling shyful and bashful to express or to confirm that who is she. The same thing we can see in the life of Holy Mother also. There are few incidents where she confirmed that she is also none other than the Divine Mother, primordial energy. But while telling, many times she tried to avoid that question. Whenever she had to confirm, she confirmed in a very bashful way or in very shyful nature most of the time, if not all the time. So Lajja Pata Vruta means they tried to avoid to express themselves, who are they or what can do, etc., etc. That's the one thing. So means Lajja means it is not shyful nature. Because if you're shyful, bashful, many times what happens, most of the time, it indicates that you are not confident and you have got some fear or some phobia. If you have got that shyful nature, if not all times, many times we will have fear. We will have got some phobias. But if you see the Mother Sita, Holy Mother's life, they were never fearful. They never had any phobia. They had a lot of confidence. Not only that, they were all well established in character, in values. They never compromised with the values. They never compromised with the character. They never compromised with the ethics and morality. They were all well established in their nature. Now, coming to again Mother Sita. Around 300 days, Mother Sita was in this Ashokamana. Ravana used to come every day and directly or indirectly used to plead, he used to tell how he's glorious and all. And by if she accepts him as husband, what all things she gets. And sometimes he used to scold, he used to threaten, all these things. Every day he used to come and do it. And whenever Ravana comes, she used to take a straw, a grass straw, and she used to keep in little further and say, if you step after this, be careful. And she used to bend her head and she used to never see Ravana. How much of 10 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, whatever Ravana used to say, just simply she used to listen, but she never used to see him. Not in 300 days, not even once. Why? Because she felt that he's some different person. I only know my Rama. He is my husband and I am the chaste wife. That's all. I don't know anyone else. Of course, there is no mistake if she sees him, but she never used to see that son. So in the olden days, because people should not get unnecessarily attracted and lustful thoughts, all these things come. That's why people generally, especially ladies and all, they used to cover their head and all, so that people should not get wrong thoughts and wrong ideas and whatever. But afterwards, because of so many political reason and social reason, all these things came. They started covering their face, all these things, it came. But it is not so. And these people are well established in the nature, character, and their self-confidence and all these things. Since they had self-confidence, that's why they never boost themselves. That's why they were shyful in nature. When we don't have confidence, we try to boost, we try to exaggerate ourselves, exaggerate our achievements. When we are self-contained, when we are full of confidence, we don't try to prove about ourselves to the world. Who am I? What can I do? What I have done? I never try to prove to the world. I never try to prove in front of people. I never try to prove to society because I am confident. Maybe sometimes we may have to tell little, no doubt, but not. Generally, most of us, we always try to prove ourselves to the world or to the society or to the people, to the in and around. Why? Because lack of confidence. Or we want name and fame, power, position, existential problem, all these things. So that's why here lajja means it is not simply just bashful nature, means she never used to see anyone, she used to cover herself with the sari. All these things are there in her life, no doubt, but it doesn't mean that. It is actually dhanadaike. Means she was with full of confidence, she was full of strong, well established in her character, and she was full of wisdom, or she was with full of knowledge. That is what this Lajjapata Vrute resembles or represents. That's what we have to understand. That's why Lajja, this modesty, is like an ornament. Ornaments, it is not golden ornaments, or diamond ornaments, or platinum ornaments made from platinum or from silver or whatnot. No. How the modesty can be the ornament? Because of their decent behavior, because of their well established in their character, and because of their modesty in their conduct or in their character or in their behavior, and because of their kindness, because of their genuineness, because of their love, compassionate, and all these things. That's what we have to understand. And also, if you see, the relationship between Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother, that was divine relationship, that was spiritual relationship. Many times some people, without knowing all these things, they say, oh, Sri Ramakrishna married, so if I marry, what is the problem? No, marriage is not at all a problem. Because Sri Ramakrishna married and he was a spiritual luminary, I can also marry and I can be spiritual luminary. Yes, you can also be, provided when you can lead a life of spirituality or pure life like Holy Mother and Sri Ramakrishna led. Now, if you see the relationship between Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother, it is very divine relationship. And if you see physically both living together, Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother, it was very, very less. When Sri Ramakrishna married Holy Mother was just 5 years, and Sri Ramakrishna was around 22 or 23 years. After the marriage, in a few days itself, Sri Ramakrishna came to Dakshineshwar and Holy Mother went to her maternal house, that is Jarambati, the village. Until at the age of 16 or 18, from the age of 5 to 16 or 18, only twice she met Sri Ramakrishna, and for 1 week or 2 weeks or for a month or so, she lived with Sri Ramakrishna in Kamarpukur or Jairambati. That's all. And at the age of 16 or 18, she came and she started living with Sri Ramakrishna. Okay. And probably after her coming, 1886, that is in maybe in 20 years or 30 years, not even that much, Sri Ramakrishna lived in physical body. And Sri Ramakrishna left his physical body. And even when they were there, initially for a few months, Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother, they were lived in same room. But Sri Ramakrishna in the midnight, he used to sleep hardly and used to go to Samadhi, ecstasy, time and again. And Holy Mother used to see that and she used to get frightened initially, and she used to sit in the corner without sleep. Sri Ramakrishna slowly, he came to know that, and afterwards he said, oh, because of this you are getting problem, so better you don't sleep here. And they never had any physical relationship. And afterwards, separate a room was built and she was living. Then after some time, there was some issue. And again, Holy Mother started living in Navath, which is just few meters away or few yards away. But though Holy Mother was there, just maybe 10, 20 meters or 30 meters away, even many times, Holy Mother used to meet Sri Ramakrishna only after a few days. Because when the disciples started coming, they used to take the food and used to serve Sri Ramakrishna and all. Holy Mother, even meeting Sri Ramakrishna became very less. And Holy Mother used to see Sri Ramakrishna standing in the corridor, and with that, there was a bamboo covering was there, bamboo mat covering. So she had made some hole, and through that hole, she used to see Sri Ramakrishna talking or doing bhajans, or in the divine dancing and whatever. So hardly few hours they used to spend in week. But Holy Mother said, whenever I lived with Sri Ramakrishna, I experienced the divine bliss, immortal bliss in my heart. Otherwise, Sri Ramakrishna he made only one set of bangles because his biological mother had told, so he gave that son. Otherwise, no saris were given, no property was given, not much or nothing. But still, they were the ideal householders, ideal wife and husband. Why? Because of the divine relationship. So this is what we have to understand. So because of their modesty nature, because of her modesty, because of her decent behavior, because of her kindness, because of her benevolence, that's why she was able to live such type of life. So Lajjapata Vruta Nityam means she's eternally known for her modesty, means it is not bashful nature or shyful nature, because of her beautiful, decent nature, or kind nature, loving nature, humbleness, gentleness, patience, purity, all these things. So, Papebhyo Nasadaraksha Krupamaina Mostate, we know that Lajjapata Vruta Nitya, you have understood. And Krupamayi, already be grace, we have understood. Now the question may come, we have done a lot of mistakes, lot of good actions and bad actions. As a result, we are living, as a result, all our experience, happiness, unhappiness, all these things. And really, these results of actions, karma phala, fruits of actions, can be destroyed in two ways. Only two ways, only two possibilities. One is that when I have self-realization, when I experience that I am that self, I am that existence, consciousness, bliss, absolute, when I experience, then these fruits of action die. Whatever the past actions results will get destroyed, and no future actions results will be, accumulated. Only the prarabdha, whatever has been this particular life, that till the exhaustion of that will be there. Afterwards, I pass away, or I cease to exist, or I merge in the universal consciousness. Or otherwise, when the divine grace falls on us, then all these things can be removed. All these things can be destroyed, will be destroyed. Just like a small fire is enough to destroy the huge cotton pile. The cotton pile was like a mountain, but just a small spark of fire is enough to destroy it completely. So just a divine grace is enough for us to destroy all our sins, all our evil actions results, and all our residue of the actions. That's why he is called Adishesha. The Lord Vishnu is sleeping on the serpent. The serpent's name is called Adishesha. Shesha means residue. Residue means what? Residue of our actions. So he is the master, is the controller of all our actions and its results. So when we take surrender at him, then he can do whatever. He or she can do whatever they wish. So when we take shelter at them, he can rub everything, he can remove all that, he can change the fate. That's why it is called, Sri Ramakrishna has been addressed by Swami Vivekananda in Khandana Bhava, Kapala Mochana. He can remove the fate, he can change the fate, and he can give instantly liberation, mukti, freedom. Only he can give, not anyone else. Only God can give. So even with the God's grace, with the Holy Mother's grace, with the primordial Mother's grace, anything is possible, everything is possible. So it is better we should take shelter at their feet, so that what happens, we will be able to reach. And one more thing is, then what is left out for us? Left out for us is what? Pray and practice spiritual practice, or whatever the scriptures and whatever the signs, incarnations, prophets they have told. So we have to practice. Then the question may come for us, Swamiji, now only you told that when the infinite grace falls on us, then everything can be changed, everything is removed, and self-realization, God realization, or freedom is achieved. Then instead of doing sadhana, Instead of doing spiritual practice, control of mind, control of sense organs, meditation, control of desires, and penance, all these things, why it is all head-boggling? Why should we do all these things? Instead of that, we shall pray to God so that let there be mercy on us by him or her, by God or by goddesses or by divine. Yes, fine. If it happens, then there is no need of any other sadhana. But the problem is, we should become the fittest instrument, right instrument to receive the divine grace. That's what Holy Mother says. The divine grace is ever flowing. Sri Ramakrishna's infinite grace is ever flowing. Only you have to unfurl. If you remember the old ships, they used to have the particular big cloth. Because of that, they used to use the wind energy and they used to, go sail in the sea. We all know that. So we have to unfurl our cloth so that we can receive the divine grace. Just similarly, for an example, our mobile. When we switch on the, internet, what happens? Then you'll be able to connect to the internet and you'll be able to receive message, you'll be able to do call, you'll be able to do many things. But you have to connect. That connection is what? So we have to make ourselves fit. So to make ours, even by his grace, I can be a fittest person, no doubt. But if we have got that confidence and if you got that faith, that shraddha, belief in God, then there is no need of it. But unfortunately, how much ever we listen, how much ever we hear, how much ever we think, we don't have that belief, firm belief, absolute belief in God or in God's grace. So to develop that infinite, unfailing faith in the God's grace, in the God's power, what we have to do? We have to do sadhana. We have to do spiritual practice. Maybe japa, repetition of the Lord's name, or maybe some chanting prayers, or meditation, scriptural study, penance, fasting, worship, controlling mind, controlling body, controlling emotions, controlling sense organs, controlling speech, doing good actions, whatever you can put in, discuss under the spiritual practice. All these things are doing for what? To make myself fittest instrument to receive the divine grace. So this is what very, very important. Just while telling this, there is called muscle memory. I heard this, I don't know how far it is true, that when, for example, in some of the big companies, manufacturing companies like Toyota and all, so just in few minutes, a thin sheet has been put. In few minutes, more or less, the main structure of the vehicle will be done, it seems. Because the machines are so meticulously has been designed. So just a sheet or raw material is been given. In few minutes, maybe 2 or 3 or 5 minutes, basic structure of the vehicle has been prepared. And sometimes the mechanic will be left only in 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So they had to fix few bolts, few nuts and bolts, maybe 5 or 10 or 15. So they have to take the bolts in such a way that once they have to take exactly 10 so that it will be easy for them to put it and screw it. Otherwise, they will miss it. And many of them, when they put the hand and they take without seeing and without counting, they'll be able to take 10 bolts, 10 nuts and bolts exactly, it seems. How? This is called muscle memory. Because of the training their body and mind, training their body and again fine tuning, when they put the hand, they will be able to take the 10 nuts and bolts. This is called muscle memory. Many of the people have got it who are working in that particular field. Even when we are, say, for example, this is also called multitasking. Someone will be talking and typing and talking and typing and doing something else. So at a time, we are able to do 2-3 actions. In a milliseconds, mind is oscillating between actions. We know that, which we cannot observe, which we cannot recognize, but we are able to do multitasking. Isn't it? How it is? It is by practice. So similarly, by practice, by practicing spiritual practice time and again, what happens? Our body and mind becomes pure, or in other words, it becomes fittest instrument to receive the divine grace. Once we receive the divine grace, then all our ignorance is removed. All our residue of actions, fruits of actions are removed. Then what happens? I will be established in the truth, ultimate truth, absolute truth. I will be established in the God's grace. I will have the experience of the God, or experience of the self, or experience of the divinity, and whatnot. Then my life is reached its ultimate goal, and I'll be free from all the bondage, and I will be happiest person. So to receive the divine grace, what we have to do? Our only sadhana, our only duty is what? To make us the fittest instrument. All the great people, sadhus or saints or prophet, all the spiritual illuminaries, if you see, for example, Saint Patrick, who is the national saint of our Ireland. For a few years, we all know that he was kidnapped from the Vikings or whomever so, and he was brought and he was put in the valley or in the mountain region. No food, no proper food, no clothing, no shelter. And he was made to take care of the herd of sheep, and all we know that. But still, while taking that work, he never cursed people. He never cursed his fate. He never cursed God. He never lamented. He never commented, or he never made any complaints. Rather, he was go on praying. He was go on praying daily, 10 times, 20 times, so many times, how much of it is possible. Then what happens? Once we all know that he got a vision of about the divine vision of the God, or about the angel, and the angel, guides you, go to a particular place, you'll get a boat or stay, then you'll be able to go back to your house. You see? So this is the efficacy of a prayer. By doing continuously prayer, what happened? He was not a literate person, he didn't know much and all, but still he became a right recipient, right instrument to receive the divine grace. So by doing prayer, by doing japa, meditation, spiritual practices, time and again, what happens? We become fittest instrument. To become the fittest instrument, I am asking, Krupamayi, you are the embodiment of grace, embodiment of compassion, embodiment of mercy. Please have mercy on me, so that let me become the fittest instrument in your hands. So that what happens? I will be the recipient of the divine grace. Once I get the divine grace, then my life is assured, my life is supported, my life is saved from all the great dangers. So may holy, and also probably one just last word I will tell and finish. Nishchayatmika buddhi. Firmness in thinking. We know what to do, we know what should not be done, but still, though we wish to do what we are supposed to, and though we wish we should not do whatever we are not supposed to do, but because of the weakness of the mind, because of the desires and whatever, we keep on doing sometimes wrong things. Isn't it? But all the great people are the person who has received the divine grace. What happens? There'll be firmness in their resolve. They'll be firm in their thinking. They'll be firm in their actions. Because of their strong willpower, because of their strong discrimination, because of their strong nature, character, what else you can say? How it is possible? Again, by divine grace. Nishchayatmika buddhi it is called. Means firmness in decision, firmness in resolving, the power of resolve, willpower, icha shakti. And means less of confusions, no confusions or less of confusions. There is no confusions, and more clarity, and more clear in thinking, more clear in actions. Why should I do? Why should I not do? When should I do? When should I not do? How should I do? How should I not do? This particular action, everything is so clear. And not only clear, and whatever they know, they are putting into practice. So Icha, Gnana and Kriya. Icha Shakti, that is the willpower. Gnana Shakti, power of knowledge, and Kriya Shakti, that is power of action. So the knowledge and willpower has been translated into action. That's what the successful people all about. So we have to be successful. All these three powers has to be united. And all these three powers united is called Mahadevi, or Holy Mother Sharda Devi. Sharda means Sarada. Sharda means what? Sara. Sara means what? Essence. Means, again, she's the essence of this world. She's the essence of the truth. She's the essence of the wisdom. She's the essence of the truth also. So Da means she is the bestower. Oh Mother, Universal Mother, you are the bestower of the truth. And you are the embodiment of the truth. You are the essence of the truth. Please bestow me that intellect, intuition, discrimination, so that let me understand and experience that ultimate truth, so that I will be safeguarded by your infinite grace. May Holy Mother bless all of us, so that let us be the recipient of her infinite grace, and we shall live the life of happiness, blissful and protection, and let us reach the ultimate reality. Let us attain that ultimate reality, or ultimate blissful, ultimate reality, which is blissful and peaceful in nature. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.